Meringue is a type of dessert often associated with French, Swiss, and Italian cuisine, made from whipped egg whites and sugar, and occasionally an acid such as lemon, vinegar, a cream of tartar, a binding agent such as salt, cornstarch, or gelatin may also be added to the eggs. The addition of powdered sugar, which usually contains cornstarch, to the uncooked meringue produces a pavlova. The key to the formation of a good meringue is the formation of stiff peaks by denaturing the protein ovalbumin via mechanical shear. Meringues are often flavored with vanilla, a small amount of almond, or coconut, although if extracts of these are used and are based on an oil infusion, an excess of fat from the oil may inhibit the egg whites from forming a foam. They are light, airy, and sweet confections. Homemade meringues are often chewy and soft with a crisp exterior, although a uniform crisp texture may be achieved at home. Whilst many commercial meringues are crisp throughout history, it has been claimed that meringue was invented in the Swiss village of Meringen and improved by an Italian chef named Gasparini in the 18th century. However, this claim is contested. The Oxford English Dictionary states that the French word is of unknown origin. It is sure nevertheless that the name meringue for this confection first appeared in print in François Massielot's cookbook of 1692. The word meringue first appeared in English in 1706 in an English translation of Massielot's book. Two considerably earlier 17th-century English manuscript books of recipes give instructions for confections that are recognizable as meringue, though called white biscuit bread. In the Book of Recipes started in 1604 by Lady Eleanor Poole Fetterplace of Gloucestershire and called Pedskin, the manuscript of collected recipes written by Lady Rachel Fane, of Knowle, Kent. Slowly baked meringues are still referred to as pets in the Loire region of France due to the light and fluffy texture. Meringues were traditionally shaped between two large spoons, as they are generally at home today. Meringue piped through pastry bag was introduced by Antonin Carême. Types of meringue. There are several types of meringue. The sweetened, beaten egg whites that form the islands, a floating island, the partly cooked toppings of lemon meringue pie and other meringue-topped desserts, and the classic dry featherweight meringue. Different preparation techniques produce these results. French meringue. A basic meringue is the method best known to home cooks. Fine white sugar is beaten into egg whites. Italian meringue is made with boiling sugar syrup, instead of caster sugar. This leads to a much more stable soft meringue which can be used in various pastries without collapsing. In an Italian meringue, a hot sugar syrup is whipped into softly whipped egg whites till stiffen until the meringue becomes cool. This type of meringue is safe to use without cooking. It will not deflate for a long while and can be either used for decoration on pie, or spread on a sheet of baked Alaska basin baked. Swiss meringue is whisked over a bain-marie to warm the egg whites, and then whisked steadily until it cools. This forms a dense, glossy marshmallow-like meringue. It is usually then baked. Chemistry. When egg whites are beaten, some of the hydrogen bonds in the proteins break, causing the proteins to unfold and to aggregate non-specifically. This change in structure leads to the stiff consistency required for meringues. The use of a copper bowl, or the addition of cream of tartar is required to additionally denature the proteins to create the firm peaks. Otherwise the whites will not be firm. Plastic bowls. Wet or greasy bowls will likely result in the meringue mix being prevented from becoming peaky. Wiping the bowl with a wedge of lemon to remove any traces of grease can often help the process. When beating egg whites, they are classified in 3 stages according to the peaks they form when the beater is lifted: soft, firm, and stiff peaks. Sugar substitutes are not useful in meringue. the sugar is necessary to the structure. Egg whites and sugar are both hygroscopic chemicals. Consequently, meringue becomes soggy when refrigerated or stored in a high humidity environment. This quality also explains the problem called weeping or sweating, in which beads of moisture form on all surfaces of the meringue. Sweating is a particular problem for French meringues in which the granulated sugar is inadequately dissolved in the egg whites, and for high moisture pie fillings. Uses: meringues eaten like biscuits are baked at a very low heat for a long time. One name for them is forgotten cookies, as they can be left in a gas oven for long periods of time after the cooking is done. They are not supposed to be tanned at all, but they need to be very crisp and dry. They will keep for at least a week if stored in an airtight container. Meringue can be used as the basis for various desserts including baked Alaska, dacquoise, Esterhazy tort, Eton messed floating island, key lime pie, KAYIV cake, lemon meringue pie, macaroons, merveille, pavlova, queen of puddings, sans rival, Silvana, Spanish wind tort, and Zugekirsch tort. In some recipes, the meringue may be cooked at a high temperature for a short amount of time, resulting in a soft meringue with slightly browned peaks on top. Another dish is meringue d'angel, which consists of shortbread biscuits layered with meringue and lemon curd, topped off with drizzled lemon glaze. Variations include raspberries, peaches, mangoes, blueberries, blackberries, pineapple, papayas, honeydew, oranges, cantaloupe, or cherries and strawberries. Meringue may be used for embellishment. It can be formed into whimsical shapes, like mushrooms, or piped into a crisp basket that is baked and filled later with cake, fruit, or flowers. A meringue tart is a sponge cake covered with meringue. Nutritional content. Meringue is a fat-free food, because the presence of even small amounts of fat before the meringue is baked causes the beaten egg whites to collapse. The principal nutritional components are protein from the egg whites and simple carbohydrates from the refined sugar.